right, good morning for a little kitchen table learning review here. Today we are adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. So I'm going to do a little review. I'm going to solve two different problems and I'm going to talk about misconceptions. Okay, so first thing here is we're adding two fractions, say 1/2 plus 1/3. So let's remember here that we cannot just add the numerator and add the denominators and come up with our sum. We have two different names, so we have to rename these fractions. And if you remember, when we were working on the adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators, we went ahead and made our little quadrants. In the first quadrant, we have the problem. In the second quadrant, we took the the denominators of each, and we're going to list out the first few multiples: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6, 9, 12. And our goal here is to find the least common multiple. And once we have the least common multiple, well, then we can rename. Well, 2 times 1, 2, 3. 1/2. We're going to multiply by 1, 2, 3 over 3, and we're going to rename 1/2 3 6. And if we use our number sense here, we should be able to understand that 1/2 is equivalent to 3/6. 3 is half of 6. 1 is half of 2. Now I got to rename the thirds here. So I'm going to take 1/3. I'm going to multiply by 1, 2, the second multiple here. So I'm going to multiply by 2 over 2 to find and rename my new fraction here. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Now I have renamed my fractions, and in the last quadrant, I can now add. Please make sure that we are not changing these symbols as we go through our work. They have to stay the same. Now 3 plus 2 is 5. 6 stays the same. And that is my final answer. Now, briefly over here, I want to talk about misconceptions. This can't and won't ever give us the correct answer. And this is just poor math. In fractions, we just can't add the numerators to 2 plus 3, 5, say that 1/2 plus 1/3 is 2/5. That is incorrect. And that's just poor math, right? So now we've addressed the misconceptions. We have looked at one particular problem. Now I want to look at a second problem. And this time we're going to look at some mixed numbers. So what if we have 2 and 1/2 minus 1 and 1/3? Now we have to figure out and wrestle with what to do here that we have two fractions that are attached to these whole numbers. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is turn this mixed number into an improper fraction. Remember, we're going to multiply the whole number, 2, times the denominator. 2 times 2 is 4. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So that's going to give us 5 over 2. Now I'm going to go to 1 and 1/3. 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 4 over 3. So now I have converted this into an improper fraction. Looks like this particular problem a bit. So let's go back to our 4 quadrants. All right, different denominators, so I have to rename. I use the same denominators for this problem, so we could use this step again and see the similar connection. 2, 4, 6, 3, 6. Second multiple, that's 1, 2, 3. Third multiple. So 5/2 times 1, 2, 3 over 3 15/6. 4 thirds. I'm going to multiply by 1, 2. By 2 over 2 equals 8/6. Now, I have fractions that have the same denominator. They have like denominators. So now I can subtract 15, take away 8 is 7. Denominator stays the same. Well, now looking at my answer, I see that I'm not done yet because I have an improper fraction. So remember, we have to divide the numerator by the denominator. 6 goes into 7. There's one group of 6 I can take away from 7. That should be a subtraction. 7 take away 6 is 1. So I have 1. Remember our memory trick. 1. I'm going to circle the whole number and then check it. 1 and 1/6. So 1 and 1 over 6. 1 over 6. So there you have 2 different problems here, right? So we can look at if it's just a fraction without a whole number and what to do with mixed numbers. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to message me on Google Classroom or email me.